season you're just going to be pushing harder and harder than ever?
Yeah, it obviously comes with a sense of urgency, knowing that this is my last year to get what I came here for, and to see the success rates in our prior games. So when I'm aggressive versus when I'm passive, definitely something that I've taken in as much as I've grown physically this offseason and continue to work on my basketball skills. Switching my mental approach, I think, has been something that I've done as well this offseason.
You guys are going to play a lot of the hits schedule-wise this year: South Carolina, USC, Notre Dame, Tennessee, all of them. What's it mean for you to be able to get all those games that big in this season for you particularly?
It's fun. It's what you live for as a competitor. UConn has never shied away from a tough non-conference schedule. And it's just like what you dream as a kid, playing in those huge games in these amazing environments with high stakes, with big names, and just obviously just the atmosphere. So it's everything you dream of as a kid, and to be able to do that, especially being in my last year, it'll be a lot of fun.
You enjoyed some of the trappings of fame over the last few months, obviously some of the stuff we've all seen you be at events and so on. What's that been like to take all that in?
It's been a blessing. I feel like I'm living in my childhood dream, so I never want to take it for granted. I'm not entitled to anything. I don't know what each day will bring. So I try to just embrace the moment, have fun with life. It's my first sort of healthy off season where I've got to really enjoy it and do a lot of fun things and not just be in one place rehabbing. So I've never looked at it as I'm famous. It's more of just like I'm blessed. So I'm grateful.
Coach talked, obviously you want to be more aggressive, but he talked about practice the other day where there was 6 straight baskets where you didn't score. Mm-hmm. Is it nice to see that even though you're trying to do what you're trying to do, to see them step up as well?
Yeah, like just because I'm aggressive, I don't want that to mean my other teammates aren't aggressive as well. Like I don't want them to defer to me. I don't want them to be like, oh, like Paige hasn't gotten a touch in a while. Like I feel like it'll happen naturally. I'll be looking more to score when I have the ball, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop passing. Like everything's not going to change. I'm just going to look to shoot more, to score more, and I feel like that'll obviously open up a lot of other opportunities for my teammates as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't do it by myself. The team knows that, everybody knows that, and we lean on each other a lot. So for them to be aggressive and them to know, like, Paige doesn't need to touch the ball every single possession, or Paige doesn't need to shoot the ball every single possession. Like, I can get a bucket too, I can be aggressive too. I think it's a huge way, and I think it's good to balance that.
Is it emotional when you think my last year? Does that hit you? That you seem to love it here. Does it hit you hard that you only have one more year of this stuff?
Yeah, I've loved my entire time at UConn. Can't imagine it coming to an end, which is why I don't try to worry about the past. I don't try to worry about the future. I just try to stay where I am. So as of right now, I have a whole season ahead of me, so that's all I'm really focused on. And winning tomorrow at practice is what I'm focused on. But yeah, it's sort of surreal to think about that. I'm actually I feel like I'm very old, but I'm going to be a big girl in the grown-up world next year.
For all the young players, I mean, a lot of the veteran players are still kind of on the mend. You're surrounded by a lot of young players. Do you enjoy that process of showing them the UConn way and bringing them along?
Yeah, it's helping me grow as a leader as well. It's a challenge every single day. I look out and it's either all new people, freshmen or sophomores. Obviously with AZ coming back, Caroline, Aubrey's coming back, Gianna's coming back, but it's like right now most people on the court are new to the game or second years in the game, or Caitlin just new to the UConn program. So it's challenged me in different ways to grow as a leader, how to talk to people, who responds to what, who's receptive to things and who's not receptive to things. And it makes you grow in your relationship with them as well off the court, because you get to know them as people and how they respond to things and how you can communicate with them. Like, can I get on ice the same way that I would get on Sarah, or things like that. So it's very joyful. It brings me a lot of joy because I'm just continuing to grow as a leader and as a teammate.
This being a big year for you, is it simply because this is your last year at UConn? Are there other factors involved, the growth of the game, where the game is at right now?
I don't know. I think every year is a big year just because every single day you wake up, it's a blessing. And you just try to, like I've tried to say, like win the day, conquer the day. But yeah, obviously the sense of urgency is high, knowing it's my last year, and just trying to embrace it, just trying to have fun And definitely with the growth of women's sports, you want to continue to be a part of that wave, be a part of that shift, and you just be grateful to do it.
When you look at all the star power there is in the WNBA now, including obviously a lot of former UConn players who will be joining in the pros next year, and also looking, as you mentioned, some of the big name players you'll be playing this season, Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, and so on. What does it mean to you to be part of that and to know that there is so much star power still to come?
Yeah, it makes you extremely grateful. Like, I was just a little kid looking up to my favorite Minnesota Lynx team and all the big names there. So to be a part of that, it's super surreal, and it's something that I dreamt of as a kid and prayed for, and God willing, I'm here. But I don't want to take it for granted. Like, I still want to continue to work and get better and continue to be better as a player, as a teammate, as a person. So just continue to never take it for granted, and then know that as much as I was a little kid looking up to my role models, that little kids are looking up to me. So continue to be something to aspire to be, a role model, and a great person to follow.
You mentioned the stakes this year. Does it feel maybe a little bit of the load has been taken off you with all the returners and all the new freshmen? Do you feel like maybe you could not have to play 40 minutes a night and instead kind of give opportunity to these guys to maybe take you farther than you thought you could go?
Yeah, I mean, the burden is better when you get to share it. And I think we've talked about that a lot as a team. Like, obviously, people on the team are dealing with different pressures, but we all have the expectation of playing at UConn and being a national championship or bust. But I think the more that we rely on each other, the more that we talk about it with each other, the more that we're vulnerable with each other, I think it'll help us and go a long way.
How does Azy look right now in her rehab?
She looks great. I mean, the stuff she's done on the floor, like, you can tell she's very confident in her body. She's worked extremely hard at it the entire time she's been rehabbing, and she looks strong. She looks physically fit. Obviously, like, the basketball movements and the confidence that comes with time and reps. But as far as, like, her physical fitness, the way she looks, how well she's moving on the court, she looks great.
You've played for Gino for quite a few years now. I hope you can hear me. You've played for Gino for quite a few years now. Is he the same as he was on your first day at UConn, or has he changed at all?
He's super nice to the freshmen, which I've talked to him about, because I'm like, you were not nice to our freshman class. And he was like, well, you and Nico were whatever you want to call it. But I think, I mean, he's the same. He's very motivated this season, because we came up short so many times that he wants it for us as bad as we want it ourselves. So he's very tedious about things, very, like, hard on the details and making sure that we're not allowing these bad habits to carry on, but stopping them right away when they happen. But you can tell, as much as I have a sense of urgency, he has one too. He wants it super bad for me. He wants it super bad for the team. And I mean, he's the same coach. He's gotten probably a little nicer. Maybe it's the freshman class. He likes this class more than he did ours. But.
Paige, when you talk about the urgency, is that something you have to manage mentally, just kind of not wanting it too bad at this stage and kind of getting ahead of yourself?
Yeah, I think that's where I've grown in my mental approach to, again, not stress about the future. It's so easy to get caught up in wanting to win a national championship so bad that you get so caught up in that you're not worried about winning today. And I think you can't win a national championship overnight. You win it in October, in November, December, and all the habits that you build up until that point. So for me right now, it's winning every single day of practice, winning every single day in the weight room, winning every single day in my training, in my rehab, and conquering every day in front of me, and just going one step at a time, one foot in front of the other.
Is it just time that's gotten you there, or was there kind of a concerted effort to kind of change that mental approach?
Experience, time, working with different people, asking for help, not being afraid to ask for help and say that you can't do it by yourself, because I'm human. I still let pressure get to me. I let other people's opinions get to me, and trying to fix that and better that for my mental, and better me on the court as well. So a lot of things.
Are you seeing KK kind of settle down and now she's about to start her second year?
Yeah, definitely. You can see, like, the experience and having 1 year under belt, what that's done for her. And I've told her, like, yeah, you're only a sophomore, but you know your role is going to be heightened. We know you have a lot of experience compared to the freshmen, and you played a lot of minutes, you played a lot of games, so you can see it slowing down for her, and like learning how to play with pace and when to have her foot on the gas and when to slow it down a little bit. So it's definitely something that she's continuing to learn and continue to get better at.
Paige, I know she's recording you right now, but what have you learned about Sarah in the short time that she's been at UConn?
Just that she knows how to play the game. I think that's the biggest thing about her. She can pass, she can score at all 3 levels, she defends, and I mean, she's just a hard worker, and you can tell like she's grown up around the game. She's played it a whole bunch, and she loves it. But I feel like the biggest compliment as a basketball player is like she knows how to play. She has a high IQ. She can do. I don't think there's anything on the court that she can't do.
Speaking of Sarah, she's a question for you.
So Sarah's on here. We know that you can hoop and you can sing. So when is Lil Paige dropping again?
She's a jokester too. She's got it all. She's a funny girl. You can expect something from Lil Paige when you get some from Ra. That's her nickname, Ra.
Is there a specific game on your schedule this year that you're excited to play?
Honestly, every single one. I think I'm super just excited. I realize that as time passes by and as games go by, that it's one less time and opportunity I'm going to get to wear the UConn jersey. So, honestly, all of them.
Paige, what was it like? It looked on video that you were loving it, but what was it like seeing Ali Zeibo pop off on first night on Friday?
I mean, I see it every day at practice and shooting workouts, but it's obviously different. It was probably, I think, her first experience doing something like that in Gamble with fans and the loud environment and that atmosphere. But it was awesome. Obviously, she was on my team for first night. Everybody's like, "You were cheering against AZ." I'm like, "Yeah." I was on Team Blue. She was on Team White. Like, obviously, I was cheering against her. So, just to see her do that, I think it bodes well for her confidence and to have that sort of night. She's a confident person as it is, but I was very excited for her. Yeah.
And also, just equivalently, just following up on first night, you hit essentially a logo 3 to start the scrimmage. Sarah Strong answers back. What was it like seeing her hit that logo 3 and that kind of action?
Yeah, I hit it first, and then I was like, Sarah turned around and made it. I'm like, was the shot really that easy? I was like, I wasn't expecting it, but I should have. But no, it was all fun, and I thought we shot extremely well to start that scrimmage.
Paige, you mentioned your decision to forego the WNBA draft last year because you wanted to give it one last shot to win a national title. How much would it mean to you to capitalize on your collegiate career with a national championship, considering all the adversity you've been through throughout your career?
Yeah, I don't even think I could put into words what it would mean, but it would mean everything. Obviously, everything that I've been through, me coming back, a lot of my teammates coming back from injury, all the adversity, all the hardships, would definitely mean everything to cap it off with what we came here for.
Paige, in your travels this year for all the things that you've gone to, I know you went to Mystics games to watch Aaliyah and so on. You also went to other women's sports events, soccer and other such things. And obviously soccer being as popular as it is in the NWSL and so on. What do you take from those other women's sports events that you've gone to in terms of things you can apply to your own growth as a star and in basketball?
I obviously just seeing the growth of women's sports has been amazing. And as much as like I feel like I'm a small part of it in terms of the women's college basketball and continuing to grow that. Just like all the women's sports, like Suni Lee is somebody that I grew up with in the same hometown or in Minnesota, and just to see gymnastics at the Olympics, just all the women's sports, obviously the NWSL went to some of those games, just like the way they carry themselves and how professional they are in every aspect of their sport. And I don't know, they just have fun as much as I love to play basketball. You see their passion and the way they embrace it and the way they enjoy it in their sport and the way they give their all. So it's just been, I love sports. I love watching. To support some women's sports is everything.
You mentioned Suni. Any other of the famous folks you met along the way you particularly cherished getting to meet?
Coco was one that I was very excited to meet, along with her, like seeing her greatness and just how young she is and how well she carries herself, and I'm Francis Tiafo, he's like a good friend to me. So meeting him and supporting him this entire summer was amazing as well.
You said you've been mentioning you want to be more aggressive. Just wondering, what's the psychology behind that? Is it just scoring? I assume when you say you've been passive, you weren't doing that on purpose. Like what goes into this getting an aggressive mentality?
Just looking for my shot more, looking to create more, having the ball in my hands more, being willing to get the ball and just make a play and not defer to anything else. I was saying last year I think I bought too much into the power forward role where I would get a rebound and outlet it to one of the guards, knowing that I'm a guard myself. I can just bring it up and make a play that way. But I think being aggressive, looking for my shot, opens up so many other opportunities for my teammates. Just if they're more focused on me and prohibiting me from getting my shots and my clean looks off, it'll open up things for everybody else. So just a balance of continuing to look for my shot, not be passive, but also continue to still pass and still look for others as well.
What's it like playing with Caitlin?
It's really fun. She's obviously new to the program, but she just knows how to play. I'm sure Berube runs some of the UConn offense principles, but she's aggressive as well. She's different in terms of Nika and more looking to score, less to pass. But she creates on offense. She's pesky on defense. She has really good footwork. She gets in the lane and she can score in a multitude of ways. So it's been great to play with her.
Paige, how would you describe the team's dynamic on and off the court?
I would say off the court, very goofy, very lighthearted, very unserious. And on the court, we try to flip it to very serious, but at the same time having fun, playing with passion, playing with energy, playing with the attitude, and just being hungry, being motivated. I think our identity, we're trying to build it defense first and focusing on that, and then letting the offense come to us, but playing extremely fast and playing with a lot of passion, energy, and attitude.
Paige, name your old-time basketball starting five and why, and what life lessons has basketball taught you?
Women's starting five?
Yeah.
All-time starting five. All right, Sue, Diana, Maya, Stewie, and Asia. And what was the second part?
What life lessons has basketball taught you?
To take nothing for granted, appreciate every single day. Bad stuff is only bad if you interpret it as bad, but how can you turn anything that is sent to break you to make you? And to, instead of asking why me, say why not me. You don't have to do anything in life. You get to do everything in life. Everything in life is a blessing. And just take nothing for granted and just have fun, embrace life, be in the present. Don't worry about the future and don't worry about the past, but stay where your feet are.
Thank you, Paige.
All that AZ's been through in her career to this point, now she's close to returning. Do you see a difference in her just maybe being a month out from her finally getting back on the court?
I think just her passion and joy for basketball is back. Going through an injury sort of strips you from it. Not being 100% strips you from it because you're not who you were when you were healthy and you're continuously fighting to get back there. So now that she's worked her butt off the entire rehab process, she's feeling healthy, she's feeling confident, and she doesn't want to be a shell of herself anymore. And you can see that in how happy she is to be back out on the court. And I mean, that's the best thing about AZ is when she's confident, when she's just enjoying and not overthinking and just being sure of herself, I think, is when AZ's at her best. So I think that's what I've seen a lot of in terms of her growth and just coming back from this injury.
Ashlyn said that you and your twin, Nika Mule, were two of the players she looked up to most last year. What does Ashlyn Shade bring to the team, and what can Husky fans expect from her sophomore season?
Yeah, Ashlyn just brings consistency. Like, you know what you're going to get every single game, every single day with Ash. Like, she's going to play extremely hard. She's going to be aggressive. She's gonna just try to do everything she can. She's just very extremely motivated, and she plays extremely hard. And I don't know, she's just very consistent. And like with Ash, she's going to play hard on defense. She's going to play hard on offense. She's going to look for a shot, and she's just going to run. She's going to run the floor. She's going to defend, and she just brings a great energy, a great smile to her. You know, when she's playing, she just plays with so much joy and so much passion. And so just looking to continue that and continue to get better every single day of practice for her.
Do you think Nika or Leah are going to come back to watch a game, see you at all?
Yeah, I definitely.
You went to them.
Yeah, I've already talked to them about it. They're coming back. Aaliyah, she's not playing anywhere this off season, so she said she'll be back a lot. We'll see how many times it truly is. But and Nika, we've talked about it. She's coming back as well.